Hey, I'm Scotty, and in this video I'm going to share with you 3 tips that have really helped me become better at people sketching. Okay, so tip number 1 is to use silhouettes to draw people really quickly, especially if you're drawing them urban sketching in real life. So the way I sketch with silhouettes is to start at the top and to really just try and get the movement of the shape. And there's a lot of guessing here, but I'm going to show you my second tip, how I can get the general proportions a lot more accurate than just eyeballing it. Okay, so trying to get that shape. I've got the body and the legs. Now I can add in the shoes. And this is very loose, quick sketching. I'm not too worried about all the little details. And I love trying to capture a feeling or the motion of the character. It's a great challenge. It takes a lot of practice, which I'm still spending a lot of time working out. Okay, so there's my silhouette. I'm quite happy with the energy there. So now you could go back and do a couple of details. A lot of people leave the face when you can see the quick urban sketching. They just leave it like that, and you can do a nice wash, which I'll do a wash at the end. So this is my next reference. So I'll show you one more version of the silhouette technique before I go into my tip number 2. Starting at the top and going down. Sometimes I skip a bit here to add in some details later, but the chin is important. And then the shoulders, so going out to there. Okay, so I'm adding in a little line there for the bottom of the t-shirt, because it's hard with these big clothes to work out exactly where, how long to draw the body. A bit of light there. And the shoes. I'm going to add in a couple of details. Now that I've captured the shape with the silhouette, it's much easier to come in and know where some of the details are. So there's the elbow there, I can get the length of the arm. And for the hand, I'm just drawing like a little square there, and for the fingers and the thumb. Important to get where that elbow is. Some details on the pants, because the left leg is coming in front of the right leg. Okay, oh, don't forget the bread. So with these silhouettes, I've just tried to capture the shape and the feeling of the main shapes. So tip number 2 is to use proportions within your sketch. So how can you use proportions if you're sketching so quickly and you're not going to draw a mannequin or measure out too much? So I use some very basic proportions. I'm going to show you in this figure here. Starting at the top and getting his face. So that's his head. That's why I wanted the chin before and the neckline. So there's the neck. How do I know how far to go down? Well, the way I work it out is that I say this, there's the head length, and I get 3 head lengths. 1, 2, 3, and that is the crotch. That is here. The t-shirt, end of the t-shirt comes about there. So to the elbow, if you have the 3, the elbow is about halfway, so 1.5 heads. So he's going behind there. It's coming up there. Let's draw a little boxy shape for the hand and the bag he's holding. There you go. So the elbow from the shoulder would be about here. And because you're drawing very quickly, you're not going to get these perfect. Then how do I know how far to go down? So I've gone 3 down to the crotch, and then I can say 1, 2, 3, and it's actually about the same from the shoulder to the crotch to the crotch to the ankle. So I briefly look at this length here, and I know that I just have to double that length down to the ankles. His pants go right down to the ankles. And as I'm doing these, you might notice I'm doing these lines, I'm using very wobbly, sketchy lines. Okay, I'll show you again in this example. So starting at the top with his beanie here, getting down to the chin, so then I can see the head length. And I know that from the shoulder to the elbow is about 1.5 heads, so I can measure the length. So from the shoulders down 3 head lengths, 1, 2, 3. I know that's where I'm going down to the crotch. T-shirt goes about there. So from the 3 heads down, it's about double, till about where the ankle is. So I'm going here. And in the middle, between the crotch and the ankle, is where the knee goes. Okay, now I can add in the details. The ear. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, that if you go down 3 heads from the shoulders to the crotch, and then you go down another 3 heads to the ankle, this is just something you can do in your mind quickly to check. You don't have to do it every time as you're sketching. Maybe you can do afterwards. But I find that really helpful, because I think figures that don't have the right proportion, that have an equal proportion from the shoulder to the crotch, or from the crotch to the ankle, just don't look right. Okay, so tip number 3 is how to draw faces very quickly with only 7 strokes. So I'm going to have a go for each of these to sketch them very simply and show you just what lines to sketch and what not to sketch. Okay, we'll start off with this lady's face first. From the chin to about the hairline up there, that's the length we need, because we'll break this face into 3 sections. So first start with the eyebrow, about 1/3 down from the hairline to the chin. So we'll draw the little eyebrow there and there. And then a little mark for the nose, halfway between the eyebrow and the chin. So it's just along the bottom, just like a shadow. So with the eyes, we're going to draw a little shape or line just for where the eye is. So I've exaggerated the line on the end on the left to say that's where the iris is. So now with the mouth, we can just focus on that split between the lips. We're not going to get too tricky with all the teeth or anything like that. That's the general shape of her split. And then the last little stroke is a little dot underneath. Okay, so this is one way you can do, especially when you're sketching very small. Let's try that again. Here's on a slight angle. So again, from the hairline to the chin, because we've got those 2 points, we can do the brow, and then a little mark just at the bottom of the nose, which is between the brow and the chin. Now it's easier to know where the eyes go. And so they're up in here. So if you go up from the side of the nose, then you know there's a point there where that's where the corner of the eye is. So we'll just draw a little line, and then where the iris is on the end, it's a little bit thicker. Okay, so the lips, let's go, it's 2/3 up from the chin towards the nose. So it's a little bit higher than halfway. And you can start in the corner and make a little mark for the split between the lips, and a dot underneath, just adding in a few. Okay, but I think that gives a good simple representation of the face. Now the third reference, and he's tilting his head slightly down, so the forehead is slightly bigger than the other figures. So I'm just looking where the darkest points are. There's the eyebrows, and then the little bit for his nose in the middle, between the brow and the chin. And then that's the corner of the eye there, so we're just drawing a little shape there, just a line for the top eyelash, top of the eyelid, a little line on the side, and then we can shape the face a bit better to suit. So the ear looks like it's up here, but perhaps that's a bit high, so let's bring the ear down. Okay, and this is the last figure. We can't see the hairline there, so I'm just going to look at the reference to see how much space is there. And then halfway between the brow and the chin, do a little mark like that. The corner of the eye is, so we go the top of the eye. And then his mouth is slightly open, so we've got a slightly darker spot there. And a little line for the bottom lip. Now to finish off the sketch, I'm going to add some wash and some white pen for highlights. If you'd like a more in-depth tutorial on how to sketch a figure using precise proportions, I recommend you check out this video here. And thank you to all my Patreon members who support me in making these regular YouTube videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.